Hi and welcome to episode 26 of the Arya Bark Podcast. My name's Caroline.
And I am Andrew.
And we're coming to you today from our home in Fife in Scotland. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's great to have you here. You can find detailed show notes on the Arya Bark website, which is aryabark.co.uk. You can find me on Ravelry as either Arya Bark or Sultra.
I am Plumberboy21.
We have a Ravelry group, which is Arya Bark Designs. We have a private group on the website for anyone who's unable to use Ravelry, and you can sign up using the community tab, then groups. If you've already signed up, you just press login. We have a Instagram page, which is Arya Bark Designs. We have a Facebook page, which is Arya Bark Designs, and we have a Ko-fi page, which is Arya Bark Designs.
We are currently running 2 make-alongs.
Did you have to count them?
Yes, but only in my head. The first make-along is a hashtag New Things Make-along 2021. You must be a member of either the Ravelry or the private group on the website for your entry to count. Physical prizes will be drawn quarterly. The next draw is on the 27th of June. Physical prizes for the F4 thread. The winner will be drawn by random number generator. Mr. Bart and myself will choose a entry each month from the charter thread, and the winner will receive a pattern of their choice up to the value of £10. Whips are allowed and multiple dipping is encouraged. Enter as many projects as you like, as long as you can show how it's new to you. Examples include, but are not limited to, new yarn brand or colourway, stitch pattern or designer, new technique or construction. The second make-along is a hashtag ABD StashSmash 2021. You must be, again, a member of either the Ravelry or the private group on the website for your entry to count. Physical prizes will be drawn quarterly. The next draw is on the 27th of June. Physical prizes for the F4 thread, winner will be drawn by random number generator. Mr. Bark and myself will choose an entry each month from the charter thread, and the winner will receive a pattern of their choice up to the value of £10. Whips are allowed and multiple dipping is encouraged. If it can be measured in metres, then it can be entered, so knitting, crochet, Tunisian crochet, weaving, spinning and cross stitch if you can measure that in metres. Goals are at your own discretion. You can increase and decrease whenever you like, and each person entering will have one F4 thread post that all projects will be logged in. I didn't look a lot at that. I'm getting better.
It's only took 3 months.
I'm pretty sure it's longer than that.
When you are entering into the F4 threads for both make-alongs, make sure you're also entering it into the charter thread. Charter thread.
Aye, you've done your assistant.
Thread to double your chances of winning a prize. Now, thing is, it's the end of the month. Did I remember? So, you have till next week to put more progress pictures in both threads, and next Sunday we'll win. Next Sunday we won't win anything. Next Sunday we will pick charter thread prize winners. This week we have coming in StashSmash whips, UFOs and lined up. I'm watching you.
Just looking for the UFOs.
In this week's podcast there will be mostly knitting. I've still no taken it apart.
No, it says heaps of crochet.
Heaps of Tunisian crochet. There isn't heaps of Tunisian crochet. There have been heaps of Tunisian crochet for a while. And timestamps can be found in the description box below.
Hello.
You may remember weeks and weeks and weeks ago that I had mentioned that I was expecting a parcel from my friend Jane, who is Mouse Knits and Crafts on the YouTubes. The parcel never ever showed up. Jane wasn't impressed, I wasn't impressed. Jane made a complaint to Royal Mail. Royal Mail upheld the complaint. That was the end of it. On Tuesday, we were on the Knit and Natter on Zoom, and my door rang. It was like, sorry folks, need to go answer the door. And there was a postie standing with this parcel. I was like, well, it must be for either him or Ryan, because clearly it's not for me, because I've been really good. I've no fell off the no buy bus. I'm still on it, gripping on for dear life. Looked at it, it was for me. So obviously, you know, on Royal Mail labels there's the wee address bit down the bottom here. And I was like, Jane never said she would send me anything, so I opened it. My parcel got here. It wasn't just this, by the way, there's another 5 balls there. This is Stylecraft Life Changes. It's a DK. It is a 75% premium acrylic, 25% wool. You get 298 metres and 100 grams. It's so pretty. I need to stop rubbing things on my face.
Yes, because that's how you break out in hives.
I had a proper trout pout last night. More on that later.
I like how you're like, I need to stop rubbing stuff on my face.
And then continue to rub it all over my face. Well, it wasn't as bad as that alpaca.
Stop rubbing it on your face. I'll take it off you.
Yeah, so Jane sent me 6 balls of this, so that's 600 grams, which is 1,788 metres. I'll discuss, I need to check, because I don't know if I actually added that in. I don't think I did. Did I? No, I didn't. I may possibly have plans for it. That's what was popped at my head earlier on. I have a plan, I just need to check the meterage to see if I have enough yarn to do a top. And that, obviously I'm going to have enough meterage to do a top, but it's a specific top. And that, there you go. Obviously my outgoing is still the same. I'm still sitting at 10,752.64 metres. I've not finished anything. Technically I should have finished something, but we'll speak about that shortly. And I've added another 1,788 metres to the 27,218 metres that I'd already brought in. So I am now sitting at having brought in this year 29,006 metres. Don't you shake your head at me. I can't help it if people send me stuff.
Just need to get quick knitting.
That would work if I didn't get halfway get to the end of a project and go, that looks stupid, let's rip it back to the beginning. We'll discuss that later.
I should just be like me and go, well, that's what it is.
No, because I'm liking it even better now. I don't mind knitting projects 3 times. My totals for crochet haven't changed. My totals, which is 1,931, not 13, 31.24 metres. I've knitted 6,551.4 metres. I've only spun 253 metres. I'll need to be getting that total up shortly. And weaving, I'm still sitting at 2,017 metres because I've still not finished the other half of the woven blanket. I am choosing to knit 28 projects in 2021. I'm currently sitting at 18 projects. That's not changed either. And I'm still sitting at 64%.
For mine, see episode what? 5?
3?
3?
Well, you weren't in episode 3.
I know, but
Possible 7.
I'm pretty
9.
sure mine hasn't.
We'll insert a bit up here the last time Andrew had anything to actually put in StashSmash.
Actually, no, because there was a time that we added the ball for my socks. Or was that before or after I finished?
The whole point of StashSmash is not to add more stuff to your stash.
Yeah.
It is to bring your stash down. Clearly, my StashSmash is broken. Because even if I do manage to craft 26,000 metres this year, I am still going to have added an additional 3,000 metres to my stash. I'm just going to have... Come on, I'm just going to bring out all my wool, and I'm going to make a massive blanket, and I'm just going to keep weaving that blanket.
Enough to cover the house. A blanket for the house.
See, for Christmas this year, everybody's getting a blanket. You get a blanket.
But if you think about it, Mum, if you were to knit your whole entire stash, you'd have to buy more wool.
No, wouldn't I?
So you just got to stop knitting.
I don't need to bring in 29,000 metres in 5 months. That's shocking. My stash is now beyond life expectancy for myself, you, and Ryan.
Hey, I might live shorter than you think.
Yes, if you keep being cheeky, I may actually kill you.
I've been bad. My only whip, I was being good, I had multiple ones on the go, but my only whip is my habitation throw. A good thing is I've actually almost finished.
Oh, is that what you...
Tied up again. I finished, no, I've not finished in it. There were roll. It is getting big. It is getting big. I quite like the part. It looks funky.
It does look quite funky. That's where he was last week. Yeah. Dangly Fox.
Little Dangly Fox.
Oh,
and
Fox.
So I have got a whole well done to it, but unfortunately getting all that done means I've worked on nothing else, and also means that I've not got any of the universe pins because I've not worked on my hat.
No, you've still got one to get. You still get one. I actually meant to get it to give it to you today, but forgot. It's still sitting in the box, so you will still get your universe pin. I am not mean. It does mean that you're not getting the second one that you should have got for getting to the crown decreases, because it still hasn't.
I'm thinking that I have made good progress with this, so I might put this down until Rafa's hat is finished.
I know, honestly, see if you work on that this afternoon. You should have that finished. Because the crown decreases aren't all that many rows. This is, I can't remember, this is Pageant. It is the So Crafty Rainbow Yarn, which is an Aran. It is at 80% acrylic, 20% wool. You get 350 metres and 200 grams. He's got a teeny tiny little nugget left. Are you, quick question, while I remember, when you add that new ball in, are you starting it just wherever you finish? Or are you starting it at the end of the row?
Probably starting at the end of the row because it'll look better rather than just starting it where I finish.
What you should have done, see when you were getting to that stage, you should have counted how much on your last row used. How close are you to doing another eyelet set?
No close at all.
You might have enough to do a row.
No, we'll hit enough to do
What I would do to make it easier for yourself, because that's got a bit of an I-cord edge on it, what I would do is I would stop it.
It doesn't take that much to do the cord thing.
I would stop it before it. Right, see when you're, right, obviously you're going to be knitting back along.
I was just got to tie in at this end.
I would stop it here.
Right.
Right, so stop it before your last 3 stitches, because when you come to sew in, where are you sewing it in about? Whereas if you stop it here, it's going to be easier for you to sew on.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Your best bet would be to snip it here and add the new ball and do the last 3 stitches in the new ball. Go back and then you can sew the other end on. There you go. That's my advice for this week.
I'm going to pretend to understand what you're saying, so yeah, Mum.
My first project is in my lovely kiwi bag from Really. Is my natter by Albina McLaughlin, who is LB Handknits on Instagram. It is a paid for pattern. I may or may not.
I've got to the end of it, then ripped it all out.
Got to the end and ripped it out. Basically what happened is I'd used, obviously it was, last week you'll have seen that it was in the blue. I'd done all the sections in the pattern. You have to get to a certain point in order to be able to finish it off. So I did. However, when I got to that point I'd run out of yarn. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Air Valley Essentials DK, and the blue is number 365, which is Blueberry Bonbon, and the grey is number, I don't know, I'll leave, I think someone's telling me it's either 47 or 43, 47 or 49, it's 40 something, and it's a grey. I knew I had this in Stash, so I thought what I'll do is I'll just do the edging in grey. So I got to the number that I was supposed to get to, and I was like, that's fine. Got that, done the first couple of rows, and I was like, I don't like it. Don't like it. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? Because it's far too short. If I take the repeat out, it's just going to look stupid. And then I had a little brainwave, and I was like, I wonder if I could do
the whole pattern again.
The whole pattern. Well, let's face it, I like doing the pattern, so why not knit it 3 times and get a product that I like. I'm liking this. So what I'm doing...
There you go. I could add in another colour.
I'm not adding in another colour. From here to there, there's a certain number of rows that you work until your knit's bead cluster. What I done was I calculated how many rows that was and halved it, and what I do is I do one half in one colour, another half in the contrasting colour, and then just keep going up, and you get wee blips. You get wee blips of the blue and the wee blips of the grey, and it looks awesome. My bum looks quite tidy today. So I'm just going to keep doing that. I am thoroughly impressed with how it's working out. I'm a bit ticked off that I had to rip it all back out. No, really. Oh.
I'm pretty sure you like that better than doing actual projects.
The thing is, I really like this pattern. Now, as I said, I was gifted this pattern from my friend Heather, who has knit 3 or 4 of these. I can honestly see why. They are lush.
But instead of my mum knitting 3 or 4, she's decided to knit the same one
3 or 4 times. I'm really happy with it. What I did notice, when I was doing it in the blue, the progress was slow. Now, I ripped this out Thursday or Friday. I ripped that out, and this is how much I've done. This week has been a lot of drastic measures where it's came when it comes to my projects. So far this week, this has been ripped out. My rivage top hip was ripped out twice and restarted twice. I was doing a dress for my niece when lockdown happened. I did not see her for over a year. Well, I did see her, but we realised quite quickly that the dress was far too short for her, and it just sat and sat and sat. And on Friday I decided I am sick fed up falling over you. I'm sick fed up having to move you. I am ripping you out, which I did. I ripped it all back out. It is a 75% wool, 25% nylon. You get 230 metres and 100 grams. And I am using a 4.5 Knit Pro Symphony needle. It's a Knit Pro Zing.
Oh,
you
break it out.
I'm breaking it. Oh, what an idiot. I'll just keep working away on this. Andrew has no other whips.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any other whips. I've got a couple. The next project in my lovely sheet bag from Heather is Ryan's Slip It Socks. This is where I was last week. I have done practically nothing. See it here. I'm still working up the legs. This is by Christine Long-Derks. Modifications, I am doing toe up rather than cuff down. I am using Attic Spin Dye in the Rainbow colourway, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. What are you laughing at?
She's biting my feet, but every so often she nips them.
You get 425 metres and 100 grams. I am using a 2.25 high sharp. I've not made much progress to it. I've made some. Some is better than nothing. And I'm just going to keep working on it until it's finished. Might be finished for next week. Might not. Who knows? Is a free pattern on Ravelry. And again, links can be found in the show notes. My last project is the Rivish top, which is pattern 199-23. It is by Drops Design. I'll stick a picture in where I was last week. This is where I am this week. I am having major issues with my increases. Now I've already had to rip it back a couple of times because of mistakes or my increases weren't working properly. I think I'm going to have to go back to marking where my increases are. Either increase when I shouldn't or don't increase at all. So I'd literally got about 3 or 4 repeats in and I had to rip it all back because I had one shoulder longer than the other. There was decreases, the increases missing. So in all honesty, I've not worked on it since about Monday or Tuesday because it was just annoying me. I will pick it up, I will start it again because I really do want the top. Am I that bothered?
Are you bothered?
I'm not that bothered.
Are you bothered though?
I am using Drop Saffron, which is 100% cotton. You get 160 metres and a 50 gram ball. I'm using a 2.25mm for their garter bands and a 3mm for the body. That will most definitely not be finished by next week.
I'll probably rip it another 4 times.
And I'll probably have ripped it out another 4 times.
My first UFO, the truth is out there, is the Star Stitch Cushion 2 by So Crafty Yarn. I don't think I've worked on that for a while.
Well, for last week.
Because
I was doing it at some point last week.
Because I think I might have only put a row on it. If that, if no half a row. Or finished off half it till I got to the next one. So I've not really been working on it.
The pattern isn't on Ravelry. He is using So Crafty baby yarn, which is a chunky in the Dove colourway, and it's 100% polyester. You get 95 metres and 100 grams.
My next UFO, the truth is out there, is my Raffas hat by Hoki Locatelli. That's just procrastination, that's not done. So I keep going, the crown, it looks hard, it changes every time.
You've done the crown before?
No, I attempted to do it and I'm pretty sure half of that was all wrong.
No, it was because I was sitting with you when you'd done it. The only reason that crown had to be ripped back is because you forgot to add in a section.
So that I'm going to try to get worked on, finished and done.
Then you can get all your pins at the one time.
That is a free pattern on Ravelry. I've made no modifications. It is using Knitting Essentials charcoal. I've got about 500 balls left there. It is on a 3.75mm higher sharp.
My first UFO project is the baby yarn woven blanket. Did I get it worked up? This is where the wee light bulb comes on, that on Friday I asked Andrew to give me a hand with it and he didn't. The warp is using So Crafty baby yarn, which is a chunky in the Dove. The weft is, again, they're all So Crafty baby yarn and chunky, but I'm using Dove Fanfare and Harbour. Again, it's 100% polyester. You get 95 metres and 100 grams, and I'm using a 2.5 dents per inch heddle. There is no pattern because I'm making it up as I go along.
I never did my sound effects. No on the ball.
People will be so sad. People will be rejoicing. My next project is the Counting Sheep blanket by Lisa Hannon Fox. I have not worked on that project for weeks. I'm going to have to get back into it. Again, I'm not making any modifications from the pattern. I am using Robin double knit, which is number 44 in black. It's 100% acrylic. You get 300 metres and 100 grams. And Yarn Fair Tootsie in baby white, again 150, it's not 150% acrylic, it's 100% acrylic. You get 150 metres and 50 grams, and I'm using a 3.75mm higher sharp. Again, it's a paid for pattern and that's in double knitting. My Trinity, the Trinity by Padma R, I have not touched that either. No love on that at all. I am using Crooks and Crafts 4-ply in the Murta colourway, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. You get 425 metres and 100 grams. I am also using Vivid Yarn Studios High Twist Fingering in the Pear colourway. That one is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. You get 365 metres and 100 grams. And the last colour for that is Felt Fusion High Twist Soak in the Snow Fairy colourway. It is an 80% superwash merino, 25%. It's not 25. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. You get 365 metres and 100 grams, and I'm using a 4mm Knit Pro Zing, a 4.5 crochet hook, and a 6.5mm Tunisian hook. My Tunisian miter blanket, which is the Bandwagon blanket by Beth Graham, no work on that either. Modifications, I am doing a 3 together on the return passing and one a Tunisian knit stitch in the forward pass. Can't actually remember what the pattern tells you to do. I'm just using various 4-ply scraps, and I'm using a 4.5 Knit Pro Symphony Tuna Zane hook.
I thought one of your projects you were using Mothie and the Squid.
Yes.
Which one?
The Spring Blossom Shawl.
Ah.
And it was the Mothie and the Squid that Raylene sent me for Christmas last year.
So where did that shawl go?
I had originally been using Countess Ablaze being woken every morning by seagulls and Rosie's Knitting Shed You Fairy. The greens were too close for me to see them, so I ripped it out, and the plan was to use the Countess Ablaze and the Mothie and the Squid, but I never ever cast it back on. So it's currently, which links back to the conversation that we had on the Friday Zoom meeting, Zoom Knit and Natter, where I said I have project bags that have the yarn on it, sitting ready waiting,
just not hanging up,
and just no worked on. Is that everything? I think that is everything that I'm working on at the moment.
No, so you're not really working on it.
Well, let's be honest, I'm not working on them at all. As Andrew says, that's why they're in UFOs, because I'm not working on them.
And also because the truth is out there, Mum.
Yes, Andrew, it is. That I have a lot of projects that I don't finish. As I said to you before, I am a process knitter, not a product knitter.
And I'm barely a knitter.
And you're barely a knitter. My first project is Andrew's cardigan. Andrew has decided that he's seen a pattern that he likes, so we're going to try that.
No, Andrew saw a pattern that we liked a while ago, and it turned out the thing was going to be expensive. Because you kept showing me stuff with drops, and I was like, oh, I love that. And then you were like, cool, and then you're like, oh, didn't have the right wool fit, and I was like, that's fine, it can be bought.
I have done a lot of drops patterns in wool other than what's recommended. The problem is that I asked for a DK, which wasn't going to be a problem because we've already got the DK. I just don't have mohair because I'm allergic. Why? So I'm not going to buy stuff that I'm allergic to.
Why would we need mohair?
Because that's what the pattern calls for.
I would not just change it or leave
No,
it.
because I wouldn't have the right gauge, and it means that I have to jiggery pokery the pattern. And seeing as you're not knitting it, my foot went down. I said no.
I thought it was because we didn't have the right wool.
Well, it was. And then I counted up how much we would need, and I was like, no.
Oh, that was just to the mohair, eh?
That was just to the mohair.
See, I thought that was for everything.
No, because you weren't needing the other wool. It was just that. What the price I told you was the price just for the mohair.
That was a lot.
Yes, it was. And that's why I said to you, if you were going to use it for going out or something like that, then I would say, right, fair enough, it might be worth it. You're going to use it for lounging about on your bed.
No, it wasn't. I know, because I don't wear anything like knitwear. Don't get me wrong, it's like I don't wear anything at all. I
do not wear clothes. He doesn't. He walks about here naked, it's shocking.
Just with like black bars across me.
Mm-hmm.
With big censored. I don't really wear any knitting in the house. Because I've still got a pile of socks and that I need you to wash. I keep forgetting and be like, when's the next knitting wash?
See, the problem is because me and Ryan have more socks than you, we can let
I know
the sock washes build up. I have already said to you, Andrew, you are more than capable of knitting in circles.
Alright, I thought you were like, oh, washing it yourself. I was like, no.
Well, yeah, you just put it on a knit wash.
I generally screw up washing normal clothes and end up shrinking them. I didn't want to shrink my like knitted stuff. You would hang me. Fair as the on.
I wouldn't, because obviously I'd be too feared to sail and come down on top of it.
think we've came across a cardigan that I like.
We think we've come across a cardigan that Andrew likes. The only problem is it's a female's cardigan. But to be honest with you, I don't know where they're getting that it's a female cardigan, because it's a cardigan.
No,
it's not got buttons on it, so it's a 1x1 rib, so I'll be able to... The clasp with blanket, I haven't started that either because the loom is still being used.
What's
By... It's the clasp waves where you put it through, pick up the yarn that's at this end, put it back through and pull it, and you can have it.
I'm more confused now than when I started. So.
You want to do one?
Yeah, but not that one, because that sounds confusing.
It's brilliant.
Do you not get one where you just like... Remember that? Like weave it under and over and then take it and go back and forward and back and forward.
You don't weave it. Do you honestly think that I sit going
over under? I thought that's how you get your wee thingies.
No. See, in the reed, you've got like a complete gap and then you've got one with a hole. When you lift that up, the hole lifts up.
Oh, so
which
you just
leaves
pull
a gap
it through that
you push it through. Then you move it down so the hole's at the bottom. Then you weave it and it does it. That's how you get it to weave. I don't sit there going over under all the way along, because honestly, do you think I would have lasted this long if I had to do that for every single row? There is patterns where you do have to pick up certain strands to make patterns, but I'm not that confident yet to do that, so I'll just keep up and down, and that will be using for the warp So Crafty DK in black. Is that right? Did I not buy stuff for that?
No, apparently it's going black and grey for the warp, and for the weft black. What? So is that maybe you're using...
Oh no! Ha! See, there you go. In order to make it stand out, you have to go one yarn size below. So I am using So Crafty DK shade number K640, which is black. It's 100% acrylic. You get 300 meters and 100 grams, and I'm using the So Crafty DK shade number K913, which is grey. They're both DK for the warp. For the weft, I'm using Signet Gross Morarin shade number 217 in black. That's a 75% acrylic, 25% wool. I'll probably come out in a rash. And the Stylecraft Special Aran with wool, I'll again come out in a rash, in shade number 2494, which is Grey Jazz Net. It is a 77% premium acrylic, 20% wool, 3% viscose. You get 860 meters and 400 grams, and for that I will use a 7.5 dents per inch heddle. Are you ever going to pick another project that you want to work on?
No. That's it. After this, I'm done. No. The problem is I don't have the stash. Apart from when you go, you've got my stash.
Yeah.
You're just saying that because you want to use.
Yeah.
I need to look. I don't know what I want to do next, because obviously there's still that blanket that's going to take years.
It's not going to take years, because obviously look at how much you've done. That's only been a couple of weeks before you started working on it.
It's getting bigger and it's taking longer to do a row.
Try doing a Tunisia mitre blanket that's so far 2-year-old.
No. But I need to see, I need to look. Don't know what my next project will be.
What about a jumper?
No, I know, I kind of want to do socks because I want to use that bowl and get myself socks.
Socks will take a while. Your first pair of socks. My first pair of socks that I ever made drying took forever.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, that's up to you. You can't have more than one project going at the one time.
No, because then I get like this where I've only worked on one. I need to try to keep it to maybe 1, 2.
Bear in mind you're going to have more time.
Aye, but I don't have the time now though. That's later.
Aye, but you're not going to... What other projects are you working on right this very second? You've got your habitation throw, which could be classed as a long-term project. You're just going to keep working on it. Bear in mind, if you do the natters and only work on your habitation throw during the natters...
It's the only thing I could work on because it's the only thing that doesn't take a brain cell.
Well...
And I don't have many of them left.
No, you don't. Too many bumps to the head.
Or
when you're watching the telly. Then set out time a couple of days during the week.
When I properly pick one that I needs focus.
Let's just say, for talking's sake, this afternoon you start working on the Rafa's hat and do the crown decreases.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't much left to that pattern. I don't think there is that many rows, and you have done a full section in one night before.
Aye.
Then that'll be finished.
Just make tons of habits. So,
are you wanting to make another one of them? Are you? Do you know the length of time it's took you to do that hat? Are you wanting to make another one?
these bits aren't too bad. What I could do is knit them to here. I think give them to you.
What?
What?
I'm not finishing off your projects for you. You start them, you will finish them.
The hats need blocked.
Yeah.
That's when you block them with balloons, eh?
That's where Harry Head comes in.
Oh, I thought I was going to use Barry the balloon.
Barry the balloons deflate it.
Poor balloon.
You will to the way to nothing. There is other balloons there you could use.
Nah, I'll use Harry the Head.
Barry balloon.
Not too fair with me, I might need like one of the big, like, massive ones.
Like the ones you get out of Asda's.
Aye, like the big.
So what is coming up this week? Not very much.
Nah, my final week at work.
Andrew's final week at work. As of 4:30 on Friday, Andrew will be
Belle.
unemployed.
You say that.
So Andrew will be getting... Just think, after next week there might actually be more content on this podcast coming to you.
Don't get their hopes up.
What else? Oh, yes. Now, obviously, the Zoom ladies were informed that Andrew had lost his job, and we were offering up suggestions of what Andrew could do. And someone had said that Andrew should start, it was Heather had said that Andrew should start yarn dyeing. To which my other two lovely ladies jumped on that bandwagon and started to discuss how it would be brilliant. Andrew would be fantastic at yarn dyeing. So obviously I'd said, what kind of stuff really is he needing? Now, how long ago did we buy that stuff? 3-4 years ago, I had made a suggestion to Ryan he needed a hobby. Why don't you dye him some wool?
You can tell how all these hobbies start, eh?
And you can do this for me. And he got the pot, he got all the bits and pieces, he just never ever done anything with it, obviously because of work and other stuff. We just never ever got round to getting the wool and actually dyeing stuff. So we were talking and I was like, I have white wool there. Would that work? And they're like, yeah, that would work, no problem. I'm like, so yesterday while Ryan was doing the garden, Andrew and I measured out, broke down what I'm going to use as drops flora. I had 8 sitting doing absolutely nothing, so we decided we'll use that to practice on. Is it ideal to practice on? Probably not, but I will do. If we manage to felt it, am I going to be horrifically disappointed? Not really. So the plan is, this afternoon, Andrew and Ryan are going to be dyeing yarn to give it a go.
There will be 2 different ways of doing it. Ryan, it'll be with measuring things, being like science goggles, and me, I was like, fling that, bit of this. Don't think that's enough dye. There we go.
Oh, I've just tipped that entire tub in. So that is the plan. They'll be doing that this afternoon. I will be editing the podcast, and
so it might look right. You've edited the last few.
Yes.
You do me dirty, Mum. You do me dirty.
When Andrew edits, obviously I can edit the podcast in a couple of hours. When Andrew edits it, it takes him a couple of hours to start editing it.
Procrastination.
I need to have something to eat. I need to check on this first. I'm feeling tired. I need to. I need to.
The proper problem is, generally, we'll get something to eat. So I'll be like, that's fine. Okay, something to eat. And then obviously, I can't sit and just eat. I need to watch something, so I'll generally watch one of my shows.
And keep
for
watching.
The next hour.
And keep watching. And keep watching. And the time is ticking on and on and on, and come 2 o'clock, I'm like, I need this up so I can do the stuff I need to do. So that is our plans for the week. Then we hope you have a very crafty week, and we'll see you back here again next week.
Bye.